Good.
Hello, I think we are live. Hello, everyone. Hello, gorgeous ladies. How are you? I am Sika Stillo, and I am here today to say hello and to also give you all an amazing treat, which is speaking to the gifted, talented, and just so full of light, Kyra Siva. She is going to talk to us about how important it is to understand the power of our own spiritual awakening. And I know many of you know I have been going through a very difficult time. Let me just tell you that just having a conversation with her yesterday, I thought I was helping her, but she actually helped me so much more. I want you to know her light is amazing, and I couldn't wait to share it with all of you. And without further ado, Kyra, please tell these ladies a little bit about yourself and how you can help them to find peace within their own spiritual journey.
Thank you so much, C. It's always a delight talking with you. I love it so much. I learn something new every time, so it's very symbiotic. So my name is Kyra Siva, and I revolutionize people's lives through their spiritual awakening journey by empowering them with that. I started on this road a long time ago. I was 18 when I started going through my first part of my spiritual awakening. So it's been 17 years and counting of walking the spiritual path, and I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people go through awakenings. I've gone through my own, and there is so much you can do and so much growth that you can get out of your spiritual awakening journey. And one of the reasons I think, I use the word revolutionize, it's because your spiritual awakening is this incredibly sacred and deep and profound process that changes you from the inside out. So you go down to the very core foundation of who you are, your relationship with life itself, your relationship with existence itself, and you build on top of that. And when you do that, it transforms everything in your life. And I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people are going through transformation, and I think we could all use just a little more help and a little more healing, and how to even navigate that. So I am so excited to be here to share this with you all today. Especially with women, we actually are superpowers when it comes to spirituality. My Swami used to say, what a woman can do in 12 months, she can meditate for 12 months, a man has to do in 12 years. That is how incredibly powerful you are. That is how much access you have to your spiritual life and your spiritual realm. And when you change that, when you really take care of that part of your life and that relationship, that transforms your whole life, and it touches everybody's life that you touch. So I want to say that because I want you to feel the gravity of how amazing and special you are, and how important it is for you to go through this journey. So today I want to share with you something really that I think is sweet, and it's going to really help you heal and have good soul growth. And we're going to talk about ritual and how to incorporate ritual for your healing and soul growth. So I am a super interactive person. I love learning hands-on. So I'm going to actually share with you one of the rituals I do, and I'm just going to kind of go over it. I'm not going to do it really deeply, but I'm going to go over it. And then we're going to talk about the energetic perspective of it and the metaphorical perspective of it, and how each of those affects your healing and your soul growth. So, and you jump in here anytime, see if you ever have a question or anything, because I love this stuff.
I will, because already I'm formulating some questions for you that I think are going to be beneficial to many of the ladies in the group.
Great. Okay, well, I'm going to jump in, and just know I get so excited about this stuff, I can talk for hours. So, all right, so behind me, this is actually a part of my altar room, my temple room. This is called a murti, or a statue, and it is of Shirdi Sai Baba. And today we're going to be doing we're going to do our overview of a Baba Abhishek. Now, Shirdi Sai Baba is a great Indian saint. He lived, we think he was born around 1838, nobody really knows. But he took samadhi, which means he consciously left his body, aka died, on October 15th, 1918. why do I have a giant Murti of him in my temple room? He is one of my spiritual lineage teachers. The things that really drew me to him, he's got this great grandpa energy. So if you're ever in meditation and you've seen deities or angels or saints or anybody you're ever really called to, that's kind of how I got called to him. And obviously this is my guru over here. I met him through there. But whenever I connect with Baba, he's always this really funny old grandpa guy. And he can be very stern, he can be very bossy, but with me, he's usually super sweet. I love what he taught in his life. He was a beggar. He, brought in millions and millions of dollars, but always gave it back out. He slept on a tiny little hammock. He had his fire and he had his chillum. And he was considered an incarnation of Dattatreya. I know I'm throwing all these terms at you guys, but you can leave them in the comments or the notes, and I promise I'll go back and answer all of them, of what they are. But he really embodied the selfless love that you get when you start to experience the divine, that true, just unconditional love that pours out. And he was really about knocking down the walls between spiritual traditions, which is very near and dear to my heart. So when he was alive in his body, Hindus and Muslims were warring with each other. They killed each other a lot. And part of his mission in life was to be so much of each one, doing so much of each tradition, that they didn't know if he was a Muslim or a Hindu, and he really bridged a gap with that. I love that because I love finding the truths that we all share, whatever spiritual tradition, which is why I love talking about them all. So we have the Baba, Shri Sai Baba, and an Abhishek comes from the Hindu tradition or the Vedic tradition. So an Abhishek is a liquid offering. You can offer water, you can offer rose water, you can offer yogurt, sugar, honey. So you offer all of these liquids, whatever you want to do, clean them off, you decorate them, and while you're offering the liquid, you do a mantra. So I'm so excited, I have to just take a breath. So I'm going to just show you kind of the step-by-step process, and then we're going to talk about each one of those steps and how you can actually take that concept and bring it into making your own ritual practice for your healing and growth, or understanding why you do the practices you do within your personal spiritual tradition, whatever one that is. So when we open up,
a quick interjection, Kyra.
Yeah, please.
When I was growing up, I remember my grandmother. My grandmother is totally Catholic, Hispanic Catholic, and very, very Christ-centered Catholic. She would always say the same thing. We would take a bowl of clean water and infuse it with rose petals on her way out to church. And then when we came back from church, she would dump that water out. She said, so in case anything was negative while we were at church, we don't want to take our blessings and put them into a dirty home. So this water cleans it. So even through traditional religious society, that is something that actually probably came from the Ayurvedic. So it's really, to hear that is like, I've always had that little ritual of throwing up the rose water before I came back from church.
I love that. See, this is part of the reason I love talking to people about their spiritual life, because that is a decharging technique, and your grandma knew it. Like maybe she didn't know the energetic principles of it, but she got it. And I think that is, when I think about talking with people, there are so many unifying little things that we all do that we don't even know that we do, that cross over so many different faiths, and I adore that. Okay. Thank you so much. That makes me really happy to know. I didn't know that was a thing, but so the first step with the Baba Abhishek is we call them opening mantras, and we use the 3 Gs, your Guru, Ganesh, and Gayatri. So your Guru mantra is calling all of your spiritual teachers, your lineage, for me, I'd be like calling in my Guru and Baba and all of whoever are my spiritual teachers. I've had yoga teachers or Ayurvedic teachers or any kind of traditional teachers, I would be calling them all in. So that's one layer of opening the sacred energy. And then the Ganesh Ganesh is the remover of all obstacles. So you're calling in the energetic principle to remove all the obstacles, from the ritual practice. And then there's the Gayatri, and these are all mantras. And the Gayatri is the most benevolent form of Mother Divine. She's the softest, sweetest form of Mother Divine. So you're asking her to come in and take care and protect you during your ritual. So that is considered opening sacred space. So if you are out there watching, just jot a note down. First step to a ritual is opening sacred space. The next thing that we would do is we would start pouring water. Now I brought a little water because, again, I am a really interactive person. I'm only going to pour a little bit because I don't have a tub underneath of them. But basically you start pouring the water, you have a consistent flow, and you recite a mantra. So we just do Om Sai Sri Sai Jai Jai Sai. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. So water carries vibration. Water is carrying the mantra to the murti. Now, when we're dealing with a sacred object, I'm dealing with a murti, you treat the object as if that being was really there. You give that thing as much respect and honoring as you would. So I know there are a lot of people into witchcraft, or a lot of people that are like into natural stuff, or even if you're a Catholic, you see the cross, right? You treat it as Jesus is right there, or if there is a sacred object and you're worshiping Mother Gaia, you treat it as the whole energy of Gaia is with you, and you give that kind of respect and honoring. So one, energetically, you are activating your consciousness to connect with that particular energy. You're activating that consciousness, right? But also, it puts you into a space of devotion. And this is why I wanted to show you about Baba Abhishek, because this is one of those practices. I didn't even know what I was doing when I started it, but when I do this, by the end of it, I am a super blingy, like hummingbird, just so happy and so blissful. But part of that's because you're coming out of your story, you're coming out of whatever negativity you're carrying that day, and you're moving your whole beingness into a space of devotion and love. Okay, so we do pouring all of the water, pouring all of the liquids, reciting the mantra, and then at the end, you would dry them off and then redecorate them. I forgot to mention something. At the very beginning of your Baba Abhishek, you want to set your intention. And it's funny that I forgot that, but setting your intention is like setting the motion behind the wave. So if you imagine you're on a beach and you see the waves crashing down, your intention is way far out there in the ocean, and it is actually the force that is pushing this giant wave to come into manifestation. So that is how powerful and how key your it's so important. It's the subtle things are usually the most powerful things, right? So you set that intention, and maybe this is where you can ask for your healing. This is where you can ask for, I have this problem, that problem. You can ask for your soul growth, like, Divine, I really, really want to know the truth about life. I really, really want to understand from your perspective. I want to see the world through your eyes, right? That's how you can get that soul growth. I need this block cleared. I keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Please take this from me during this ritual. Okay? So you do that at the beginning, and you do your ritual, clean them off, decorate them, and then at the end we have closing mantras. So at the beginning we opened, and now we're going to close the energy. So there's a couple of mantras we use in my tradition that have closing mantras. One of them is basically just asking for like earth. But one of the words that we use is Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And we say Shanti means peace, so we're asking for peace and peace. Now, you do that so you can feel in the energy. You do that so you can complete the energy. And you also do that because you've just called somebody. It's like calling your friend and asking them to sit down and hang out with you. And if you don't say, okay, bye, have a nice day, it was really great talking with you, then you're just like, it's like you just left your friend in the room. And what about the rest of your day? Stop talking to them. It's not very polite, right?
Is that what they call an Irish goodbye?
Yeah, probably.
That would be an Irish goodbye. Just walk away and leave your friend hanging.
Yeah, right.
So this is amazing. One of the reasons why I wanted to share this with the group is because I personally have been having a very difficult time the last few days dealing with something that I think was greater than and overwhelming that I couldn't handle. And this is something that I'm going to do, and I'm going to practice, and I'm going to try to do, hey, come over here and help me with this burden that I think is greater than I am, and I'm going to go, pass it on. So we have to look outside of ourselves every now and then for the help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help for something greater than ourselves. And I'm going to do that. I thank you so much for sharing this, because I can see that. I will set the intention. I will go ahead and plead my case per se, and then I'm going to be thankful for already having received it. So I can see that.
Yeah.
And that's something that I really want more women to understand, that they have that control. They have that whole divine feminine that they can control, and constantly bring that peace of knowing that they can ritualize some sanity in their life.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a big deal. It is a huge deal to feel like the universe is working on your behalf versus feeling like everything is against you, or when you are in completely overwhelming situations and you're like, I surrender. I'm putting this at your feet. I will put one foot in front of the other. I will take the action. That is my personal responsibility to take action. But I don't know what to do. So you show me, I will show up. I think
close your eyes and be enlightened.
Yes. I love that. So let's talk about the energetic and metaphorical perspectives. Now, my disclaimer to this, anytime you're listening to spiritual teachings, take what works for you, leave the rest. If you don't agree with everything on the energetic side, you probably still get a lot out of it metaphorically, or vice versa. The spiritual journey is so personalized, it's so organic, and it's one of those things where it's really important for you to always follow your heart and follow your gut and trust your personal intuition on what information is accurate and right for you right now where you are. I've seen a lot of people just give over all of their power to spiritual teachers, and it's more important to own your own inner guru, your own inner divine, even as we're doing these practices of surrender and giving things away. So let's talk again about the first part of creating your own ritual, understanding your own rituals better, or maybe someday you want to try out a Baba Abhishek, hit me up. I will take you through it because it's one of my favorites. So opening sacred space. I like to do this in a place where I'm constantly coming back to open sacred space. This is my altar. This is my meditation room. This is where I am building sacred energy so that when I need a reprieve from the world, I can come into a space that I know is sacred, is holy, is peaceful, is loving. You don't have to have it in the spot all of the time. You can open up sacred space anywhere, but it is nice when you're doing a ritual that you have a habit, you have something to come back to. So we start with opening the sacred space. There are tons of different ways you can do that. I shared my way, but find the way that fits you best. The second step would be setting your intention. Just be really, really clear with your intention. My Swami really taught us to be powerful healers in the world. He wanted us to always think about others. So often when we would learn something, he would just really encourage us, don't just ask for yourself, ask for everybody, because you're taken care of when you ask for things. If you're struggling with poverty, if you're struggling with difficulty, then pray for everybody. That's that intention for everybody. I did a soul healing circle this morning with the community I'm a part of. And one of the facilitators there was like, when you ask things for the world, you are activating all of the energy needed to help us touch the world. So you're bringing in a larger amount of energy.
And that's one of the things that I appreciate having a group of women is that I have yet to come across some of the most amazing ladies I come across, but I've yet to come across one that wants to do it for herself. We all say, I want all of us to experience this. I want all of us to have this capacity for greatness. I want all of us to have this inner peace. I want all of us to learn how to take care of ourselves. Self-care. I want all of us to be abundant and affluent. So when you ask, like you said, when you ask for every one of us, you are empowering not only yourself, but all of us. And then we just share in that energy. So I love that. Because that's one of the things that we are going to be covering at my event, shameless plug here, sorry. But on March 25th and 26th, Plan to Profit, where we're going to bring women in with a vision and then turn it into an actual business plan for them. The first thing that I want them to understand is that's why we're doing it live and collectively, so that all of their collective energy will work together. When many of us think, our thoughts materialize. When many of us think together in unity, our thoughts empower. So I love what you said, because we can just really, really, really realize that not only setting the intentions for ourselves, but setting the intentions for all of us is much more powerful. Thank you for that, Kyra.
I love that. And energetically wise, you guys are absolutely doing that. That is the energy of the space. It's going to be easier for people to think. It's going to be easier for them to envision, because the energy is there supporting, right? The subtleties of life, that intention, the thing pushing the wave is there pushing everybody up, which is it's so great. So that's a really good example of how that works. So the next step was to set your intention and be really clear with that. And again, I was always taught to think of others, and I still ask stuff just for myself. But think about the people in your life. Even if you were to only take care of maybe 10 people in your life, how do you really deeply take care of them? How do you really show up and ask for what they need too? So this is a good time to ask. And then part of your work, part of your trade-off for doing the ask is the actual ritual part. So I'm kind of covering the energetics of this right now, right? So you are energetically opening sacred space. You are putting out a very subtle but powerful intention. And now you're doing the energetic work through the ritual. Whatever that practice is, whatever form that takes, that is you showing up and saying, this is my trade-off. I asked you for this, I'm giving that. We'll talk about the metaphorical part and more of the psychological part in a minute, but you are actually doing the work. Now this energetic work is where you go broke that. This is the thing that some days you're going to feel it. You're going to know that something has changed and shifted in you. You can feel energy in your body sometimes. You can have visions or an expansive awareness. Your consciousness will feel like it's expanding. And other days you show up, it's just like washing dishes or cooking food. Like you don't feel anything. You're just showing up and you're doing the practice, right? It feels very routine. So wherever you're at on that scale, don't expect to show up every single day and have magical rainbows and unicorns, but you will wind up getting peak experiences. Whether or not you recognize something is happening for you on an energetic level. You are growing energetically. It's kind of like when you if you feel like you're going to the gym, you go to the gym sometimes and you're like, I just started working out again, I'm feeling super strong. And then after a while you're like, yeah, but these 20-pound weights just feel normal now. You're still working the muscle, right?
Then you need more weight.
Yeah, you need more weight, but it's just an ebb and flow. And then at the end, and I didn't really say this when we were going through it, but you want to offer gratitude, and that's usually happening in a Baba Abhishek when you're offering flowers. You may offer a candle or incense, and you're really just saying like, you brought this up earlier, C, too. Thank you. Like, thank you for already giving me the thing that I asked for. And you are releasing the need to figure things out. You're releasing the doubt. You're releasing whatever it is that's come up for you by just saying thank you. And in gratitude, I trust that this is coming now. And thank you for even taking the time to listen to me. You're a big guy.
Yes.
But it's a really key
Yeah,
part.
I love that. It's like set the intention, and the intention has to set the, I am so thankful. The gratitude is there. The minute I set the intention with gratitude. Gratitude, like I've already received it. It's like, as I gave you this offering, I was already paying for it, through the offering, and now I'm just waiting on my Amazon delivery of grace.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And then at the very end, you close the energy, right? So this is you sealing, energetically wise, this is you sealing the energy in. It's you being responsible with energy. A lot of times if you don't close your spiritual practice, even if you're not working with a form of the divine, say it's just your meditation practice and you just get up and walk out without having any kind of closing part of that, you wind up diffusing the energy. So you've done all this work. You sat through your meditation practice. You did your ritual. If you just get up from it without closing it, it kind of just leaks out. And if you're working with a deity or you're working with a being, a consciousness, like I said earlier, it's just like, hey friend, thanks for coming. Have a good day. Like not even have a good day, just walking out the door, So you want to close energy, you want to bring it into you. And then you want to know that you did something that day, and whether or not you feel like it, some change is actually happening. Some growth is happening. If you've asked for a healing, that healing energy is already in you. You have asked for peace. You have asked for solutions. You have asked to be relieved of your anxiety and your depression and overwhelm. That energy that you need for that to be a physical experience for you is already in you at that point. So you don't have to worry, when will I stop feeling my depression? When will I stop feeling so lonely? When will I stop feeling this way or that way? It is already there. It is already working on you on an energetic level, but also starting to work on you on a physical level. So that is the energetic part of the ritual. Now let's look at it from the metaphorical part. So it's really nice when you start a ritual that you have a starting place. Just like if you were running a race or running a marathon, geez, it's nice to start your practice. So first you have your opening mantras. Again, you are starting your practice. When you are setting, actually, let's go back to starting the practice. That is your first moment where you are starting to get out of your story, out of your negativity, and out of your, I don't know how else to say it, but like your obsession with yourself, right? We all do this. We all think about I. I mean, as women, we're probably also thinking about our partners and our kids and our families and everything. But a lot of those stories revolve around us. Who am I to this person? What am I having to deal with because of these people, right? So the opening sacred space is our first step into letting our story go, into stepping into a space of devotion. Now imagine if you were able to just drop your story for 15 minutes. How much better would you feel? All of the stress, all of the weight, all of the chaos, you could just drop it for 15 minutes. You know it's going to be there for you later. And now you're in a space where you are focused. You're focused, one, because that's another thing that happens to us. I watch way too many TikToks and YouTubes and stuff. When you are constantly bombarded by things, the ability to focus and concentrate is really diffused even more. So now in your ritual practice, you've dropped your story and now you're in a space where you can focus and you're getting in touch with love. You're getting in touch with devotion. I have felt a lot of different ranges of emotions, from the darkest of the dark to the highest of the highs. And I will tell you personally, one of my favorite feelings ever in the whole entire world is the feeling of devotion. It's full of love, it's full of care, it's just, there's like, you don't have any problems when you're in an authentic space of devotion. It is really a serene and beautiful place to be in. And maybe for you, that looks different, and that's totally cool. I hope when you do your rituals, you step into a space where you get to have that really beautiful feeling. Because again, let's think about this. Now you're in a space of devotion, and you're focused, and you have an intention. Imagine how good of the chemicals that are being released in your body. You're getting the oxytocin, you're getting the dopamine, you're getting this gorgeous reset that makes you feel like a goddess, right? You're looking at a goddess, you're looking at your person, deity of choice, and now you're getting to experience the beauty and grace of that, whether that's Mother Gaia, or it is a saint, or an angel, or Jesus, or whoever it is. You are getting to experience that reflection as you, as a part of you. And that's what devotion gives you, are these eyes of seeing sacred truth in the world. And again, there is not many material things in the world that can touch that.
Yes, there's so many people that don't understand that you can open your eyes to something greater than yourself, and you'll see so much more. And you don't even have, like I said, you don't even have to call it one thing or another. You just have to look inside yourself, open your eyes, close your eyes to open your eyes. And yes, feel that release, feel that wow, and I always want 15 minutes of total release from myself.
Right? I need it. I need to stop being human just for a little while. So now you're in this gorgeous space. Okay, whatever your ritualistic practices are, they always have a metaphorical meaning to them. So when we're pouring water over Baba, the metaphorical meaning of that is giving, the water. We're purifying, we're cleansing. When I started this practice, I mentioned earlier that I feel like a shiny flying hummingbird, like iridescent and so blissed out. And I never fully understood why until I was maybe like a year or two into my practice. And it finally dawned on me, I'm pouring this water over him to fix my plethora of blocks, my personal issues. And actually, because of how mirror neurons work, I'm cleaning my insides. I'm taking an internal world shower. I am washing away the gunk from the inside. And that's why I'm so freaking happy. Like, this beautiful place. So for me, that has taken on a very deep metaphorical experience, especially if he looks a little, he's got ash or something on him, if I've decorated him. And I'm washing that away, singing my mantra with already knowing the intention is there. It's like you're washing away the dirt and the grime from your inner world. If you were a mirror inside, you're wiping it clean. So your rituals can have the same meaning. If you make up your own rituals, really think through each step of like, first I'm doing this, and this is the reason I'm doing that. I'm gonna light the candle, and then I'm gonna offer the incense, and then I'm gonna offer this, flowers, and then I'm gonna offer some rice. But every single one of those items, every single action that happens within the ritual has a meaning for you. It has a metaphorical purpose, and it can show you and guide you where you're really smooth at in your consciousness at the time and where you're actually blocked up at. And that is the part of the ritual where when you come back to it time and time again, you get to deeply know and understand yourself. This week I had a lot of fights, and I'm having a real hard time lighting this candle because those fights, man, they really killed my inspiration. That stuff starts to give you really physical feedback on where you're at in your consciousness journey. Sometimes things work out really well and you're like, I intended for this healing to happen, and everything about my ritual today was silky smooth. And then you find out everything surrounding your healing is silky smooth. You get the doctor calls, you get the prescriptions, you meet the exact people that you need, and it's this amazing epic experience of you feeling so connected. But you already knew it was going to be that way because your ritual showed you that. So there is a lot of information that you can take away from the rituals, and there is a lot of metaphorical things that you can do to help you deep dive and understand yourself from a different perspective and from some very deep levels, which is really huge when you're healing and when you want to grow your soul.
We only have about a minute left, but I just wanted to make sure that we close our energy. Definitely have to have you back because there's just so much more to learn. But I do want to let everyone know that I have put the link to your group in the comments.
Oh, thank you.
So that if anybody wants to get so much more information about this, because you are just so bright and your light is so great, so that it's right there so that they can see Kyra Siva's group, and definitely so that they can go ahead and join and get so much more. And I wanted to go ahead and thank you and just let you have the last minute to close your energy.
Great. Well, I just also want to invite you all. I do offer a 12-week course where we can actually deep dive into all of this one-on-one. So if you are really into your healing and your soul growth and you love this, I have so much more. So come and visit my group, and also come join me, and we can work one-on-one together, and I'd love that. So let's go ahead and we'll just, we will intend with our intention to close, and I will just do 3 Shantis as your 3-piece, sending you off in your day with a lot of peace and love. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much, Steve, for having me.
Thank you. I love all about this. Kyra, you have a great one.